All right. It's Nick from Greystone Copywriting. It's been a little while. We're just going to do an email breakdown, basically. So this is I guess I don't know. I could call it a redesign. I don't work for these guys. I just I'm on their newsletter, and so I made them a few emails, and this is one of them. So we're going to look at this guy right here. So this is a benefits or yeah, benefits and bestsellers email. It's a part of a welcome flow, or it would be. That's the purpose of it. So this one is sent usually like the second email in the flow after your intro email. And this is just to show your best sellers and help narrow down those choices, especially if you have multiple products. It can be hard for people to choose. And the sweet spot in general is about three options with anything, right? Any more than three kind of gets overwhelming. Any less than three, and it's not enough. So around three, and you just use your best sellers because those ones have the most social proof. They're best sellers for a reason. They're usually just the ones that people most commonly buy, that is most commonly need. So you're going to be very high likelihood that they will, uh, choose one of these products. So, and then along with that, you kind of list out the benefits of each product, or you can do a separate benefits section, which I didn't really do in this one, but sometimes I do. In the intro, you can kind of mention, the benefit, the main benefit of your product or your products, like how does it actually change their life, stuff like that. Or you could just list the features and benefits along the side with the email options. Um, there's no, standard, or just there's no one way to do things. So this one here, this is the brand called Kaha. I think I'm pronouncing it right. They're a supplement brand, protein and creatine mostly. So they had a 10% offering on their website. So we emulated that here. So we got 10% off. So like I kind of mentioned here, like you want to say if you're not sure where to start, you can choose from these things. And then I mentioned here, these are the three products our customers stay with for years, all because they feel good and fit easily into your daily life, which is a big thing with supplements. That's one of the, big benefit. So I have our best sellers here, clearly labeled. So if you came onto this email and you were just scrolling, skimming, which is what most people do, you see up here what our customers love. And then our next one is the discount reminder. It's nice and big, 10% off. So okay, yeah, my discount is still there. And then bestsellers pops out at you. Not a lot of people would maybe even read this body section part, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't have it. You just want to make sure that if you were to you open the email and then you just like slowly swipe with your thumb, like can you get the gist of that email in like 5 seconds? And we can't here. So you kind of jump from thing to thing. What our customers love, 10% discount, best sellers, and then all the call to actions are clearly nice and big. All of the names are clearly nice and big. So if like I'm, shopping around, I know I want weight isolate. I can clearly see that here. I can zoom, I can, zone in on this. I can read a bit more, and then I can clearly click the shop next, the shop now. And I kind of like having the price here. Um, I've been in sales, I used to sell retail, and a lot of people would say no to things even before knowing the price, just because they had an idea of what the price was already. Um, so it's good to put the price out there because maybe they're on this email, and this is kind of a, for instance, they're on this email. They're like, oh, I do need the way isolate, but everywhere else it's been like $100, and I don't know if I want to pay that still. Um, if they, and that can stop them from just clicking through and looking. So having the price there either qualifies or disqualifies them. Either way, it's fine. So I think putting the price is a pretty good idea. I like that. Um, and then we just have our three options, right? And then again, a reminder at the bottom, it's nice and big. And then we just have a few feature icons that stand out. So it's pretty simple, but one of the best emails you can have. And we'll kind of, if you want to stick around, we're going to break down the actual design and how it was done. We'll kind of tear it apart a little bit. I'm going to duplicate this over here. Let's tear it out. So if you want to make something like this for your own brand or whatever, what you do, you have your logo up front. You should probably have your logo downloaded. Just put it in here, make it not too big, about 50 or so pixels down from the top. I like to stagger headlines like this because it helps certain parts stand out. Like I wanted love to really stand out, so we made it bigger. So all I did here is you just make two different text box. One, this guy's 64, and then this guy's 96. And another thing to add a little bit of depth is we put a shadow on this. You can see the shadow down there. So if you're in Figma, all you would go to do is the effects section and then select the drop shadow, and you can make this like bigger or smaller, whatever you want. So that just gives it a little bit of like that 3D depth. And then we have our hero section here. I don't remember why I did this, but probably just because I couldn't find a good hero image to use. So these are three separate photos. So I just went and grabbed these from product pages, and I'm pretty sure, no, I didn't. Yeah. So the shadow stayed on them, which is nice. So you can see the shadow, that's a part of the image. But that helps to have that 3D effect that's not just flat on the page. It looks like these are actually standing up. So if you can do that with your products, it's a good idea. If these photos did not already have this shadow image in there, you could try and do it with like the effects, or you could do like a circle. That's not what I want. Let's see if I can do this. Something like this. And then maybe see if this will work for me or not. I don't know if this is what I want. I don't think it is. This is what I want. Yes. This is what I want. Okay. So what I did here, I'll show you in a separate box. So say I have this, just imagine this didn't have the shadow on it already. You can take this and put it behind, send it back, and it will kind of look like a shadow. And I can make this skinnier like this. And you can kind of play around with it to try and get, that effect. So all I did there was in Figma, press the O button, your O key. It brings up the circle, make it whatever you want. Go down the side to the effects, go press layer blur. That is what I pressed, right? Yeah, layer blur. And then just increase the blur until it kind of looks like a shadow, and then play around with the color. So that kind of makes it look like they're standing up, and I really like that effect. And all I did was I just sized them a little bit differently, so the one at the front is bigger, the ones at the back are smaller. All right. And then that kind of makes the whole email flow and feel integrated. And so I had the yellow up here because this is part of their brand colors, and then I just faded it down. So let's see, I'm on my stuff over here. Remember how I did this. Anyways, it's just a simple gradient. So if you wanted to do this, we'll do it here. I would just make this yellow, go over to your fill, gradient, and then flip this one more time. And then make the bottom one white, and it will just look like that. And then you just drag this out throughout the whole thing, or you can stop it there, or what I would do, just like this, and then bring the bottom up here so it stops wherever you want. And then that just makes the email look like it's one continuous thing. It's not chopped up. I really like that look. It's nice and smooth. And then all these guys are over here are just different shapes. I'm pretty sure I used let's take the whole thing out. So that's just a square turned on its axis. Something like this little black element here, what you can do to make that is just grab a rectangle, double click it, and then drag the edge like that. And that's a really cool feature as well. And then all the other stuff is pretty easy. This is just a product image. These are just lines. Press the L button to create a line. this is just, that's super easy. Yeah, so it's nothing too complicated, really. Yeah, it looks really nice. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to leave a document, a link down there that will take you to a Figma file, and I'm going to put a couple of these bestseller benefit style emails in there. If you have a Figma account, or you can just create one, and then you can copy and paste the designs. I'll make them into, I'll just put the designs in there, and then you can swap out the elements for whatever you want to use for your brand. Um, and that makes it super easy. That's how I make my designs now that I've designed so many emails. I just keep all of them, and then I just like whenever I make a new email, I just like mix and match parts. Rarely do I create something from scratch because it takes so much time and a lot of like mental creative effort, really. So it's just super easy, especially once you have, if you're a brand owner, you start designing emails for your own brand. Eventually, you're going to have like 4 or 5 kind of styles and templates that you like, and it makes it like super easy. You can design an email that looks great in like 15 minutes. That's what I do for my clients. And I think that's the way to go. And to find really good emails, you can go to this website called Really Good Emails, or just sign up to different brands, bring the designs into Figma, and just break them down. So like if this was just a picture, which I do sometimes, say, yeah, this is just a picture of an email. It's not actually all the elements. I would just bring it into Figma. Say I got it from reallygoodemails.com. I just bring it into Figma and I just duplicate everything. I put everything in the exact same spots. I just, if I want this square shape, I just create a square. I go, okay. I know I need to turn it on its axis. It needs to be a little bit bigger, like that. I match it up as best I can, like that. And then what I would do is like, okay, looks good. Then I would I would hold Shift and then just drag it over. And then you can replicate any email that you want, and it makes it super easy. So again, like and subscribe. I'll leave that link in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you later.